Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is something I struggle with / still struggle with. In one of my videos where I talk about the Logitech mouse, the G Pro Super Light, I got comments like this. Why were your hands so shaky? What's wrong with your hands? Well, it's an issue even I guess I don't like to admit. I always figured I had steady hands, but then I end up pulling off shots like this.
How is that like perfect?
Plastic was cracked, we may have armor swaps.
You're so much
God.
better. You're so much better. You're so much
That
better.
is so hot.
You're so much better.
I'm going to talk through my own experiences of dealing with shaky hands and how I overcame it. Maybe it'll help you out. I will do my best to keep this video short and sweet, and disclaimer, try these variables to see what works best for you. Not one person is the same. All I can do is share my own experiences in hopes that it helps you out. Tip number 1, lower your sensitivity. First tip is perhaps your sensitivity is too high currently for you to control. It does not mean it's a sensitivity you can't return to later, but currently you lack the mouse control. The downside of lowering your sensitivity is the pros and cons of a lower sensitivity. You'll engage your arm and shoulder more. If you play games like Apex Legends that requires intense movement, you may find after longer sessions of gaming, this will cause some strain. Try to find the middle ground. Keep bouncing between what feels comfortable first and foremost, then performance second. You can always mechanically improve a sensitivity that is not positive at first, but feels comfortable. Comfort will always go a long way. If you feel uncomfortable after an extended period of time, you're going to develop bad habits to counter tension, which is not good. Number 2, eating properly. This one's a big one for me. If I don't eat before I play or I eat too much sugar, then my hands always feel shaky. Be mindful of the foods that you're going to eat because they're going to impact the stability of your hands, or energy levels, because they do impact, for me personally, how stable I feel. This is different for everyone though, but something to be mindful of. Number 3, caffeine and gaming. This is also going to be a little bit of a small sponsor segment here. If you struggle with anxiety and your hands shake, then caffeine is going to actually make your aim much worse, despite you having improved reaction time. While this is my sponsor response, it's honestly why I do like Glitch Energy. I've used a lot of energy drinks, but they sent me a care package with a new shaker, and also my favorite flavors keep shifting because they keep sending flavors that I actually really like. Reason I like them is because the caffeine levels don't cause my hands to shake. Other energy drinks do, and it causes my nerves to go through the roof. It's why I don't drink too much coffee, and it's why I don't drink too much tea. It actually triggers a feeling of wanting to throw up because I get so anxious, which is something I'm going to discuss in another tip here in a second. I'm lucky that Glitch gives me energy but doesn't cause me to want to get sick. It's what helped me get through the days where my energies are low, and just be mindful of your caffeine levels if you are very sensitive to caffeine like I am. And that could also be because I don't drink caffeine as much as others probably do. So just another tip. Number 4, breathing and controlling anxiety. If you find that day where you're wired and full of energy, know your response time is going to be, well, through the roofs and really good. Take a moment to slow things down. Pretend you need to move in slow motion. Your hands are shaking with energy. You need to breathe and slow it down. When I have caffeine or are super really into the day and just ready to play, I purposely slow down my game. And the reason why is when I reviewed my footage, my brain was moving at what felt like, I guess, Mach speed. And so my hands were also moving at Mach speed. So I slowed it down, and I was still in line. I was still fast and responsive. I guess just in the moment, things could either feel like they're moving too slow, because caffeine can do that. It can either help the sensation of feeling things going too fast or slows down time in that moment. Everyone responds a little differently. Number 5, let's break down my extreme case with anxiety. And it's kind of the reason I'm making this video. I talked about this yesterday on stream, and everyone watching this video needs to understand your strength, and also your experience with shaky hands may not go away. I mention it as a strength because it's something you deal with and you can turn it into a strength rather than it being a weakness. Again, we talked about this on stream, and perhaps, I know I've talked about other videos, but as a kid, when my anxiety spiked or I had it to perform on stage, I would get sick. Still to this day, these feelings sometimes spike and happens on things I really, really care about or really stress about, one of the two. Just like on stream. Before we go live, my anxiety can really spike. It kind of did yesterday a little bit. I've gotten better at managing it. Honestly, I had to brute force it and improve by sheer exposure just to keep doing it over and over and over again. This could be where I developed my calmer demeanor, because I know people were asking a lot about that and we talked about it on stream. But where I turned this into a strength was before I went on stage and got sick. The byproduct was my adrenaline was spiked through the roof, and it gave me tons of focus and energy when I was on stage. Same perhaps with my shakiness. What makes sense because adrenaline kicks in for me quite a bit, especially in ranked or when I'm really in the moment, and a battle royale really spikes the anxiety. No matter how good or bad you are at the game, it does kick up the adrenaline because you only got one life. You do care. It's why you're playing. It's why you're trying to win. Lowering sensitivity gave me all of this energy to stay in the moment, but also able to propel that energy. Unfortunately, my shoulders and my arms, I had to balance it out. I was using mouse acceleration as a meme at one point, but it actually turned out to work very well for me. That was once for me a personal weakness. I managed to find strength until I was able to sometimes counter the negative side effects. We all have these strengths and weaknesses. Shaky hands. Growing up, I would always get so upset that I always got sick. People would always praise my performances in acting, but I would always look at what costs. I remember college people say they got quote-unquote jealous, but you never know what someone else is going through to achieve their level of success or not success. Shaky hands is one of them. Understand the variables, sensitivity settings, food, what triggers it, breathing, caffeine levels, and all that is all really important. I hope all these tips help put somebody on the right track. I made this video because when I got nervous on stage, I wish I had someone who was able to tell me that my weakness was actually a strength or help me give me motivation and drive to do what I do. Let me know if you watched all the way to the video up to this point, and what do you feel like is a weakness that can probably be turned into strength for you. I thought of this video because of what we're all talking about during the live stream and what we talk about as a community. I figured this might be a good video for somebody out there, especially as you're trying to improve and find your best sensitivity setting. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.